Ladies and gentlemen, I am Yuzul. The game is World of Warships, and since I haven't done one of these in a while, we're just going to get straight into it. Gonna have a couple of battles in the Kongo, because if what Wargaming are hinting at is correct, it'd probably be a good idea to get back into practice on this girl. I picked up my Fuso some time back, and she's different. She's very different. She handles much more like the American battleships, relatively slow and very heavily armed. 12 14-inch guns compared to Kongo's 8. On the bright side, I don't have to worry about one in this battle. I'm top tier. However, there are 3 enemy destroyers, a couple of Omahas. Actually, this matchmaking's worked out pretty nicely for me, so hopefully we'll do some damage. Of course, it's entirely possible I may just stuff it all up completely. So, start the countdown. First things first, crank in to all ahead full, so we're straight out of the blocks. Basic plan will be to turn to starboard, take some sniper shots as we cruise up the right hand side, then go close in among the islands once the destroyers are accounted for, or once we run out of sea room, one or the other. High X in the breach to start with. Chances are my initial shot opportunities are going to be long range and high angle options, so armor piercing is highly likely to either plow straight through a target or just bounce. Anyhow, battle is on the go. We'll lock the weapons onto the port side bearing for the moment so that all the turrets around in readiness, and then we'll get some steerage way up so the rudder can actually bite and start us turning. Let's see, 10 knots, yeah, that should do it. Rudder to starboard, start the turn. Don't want to go too far at this point. I want to come just east of this island here at E8. That'll do. Just start feathering the rudder a little. Bear in mind that the rudder shift time means it does take a while for Kongo to actually stop turning, like most battleships.
Hang in there. Help is on the way.
And there we are. Course is set. Sigmar should get out of our way in time. If not, I don't think even the Holy Hammer will protect him. And there's our first shot opportunity. Early contact with an Omaha and a Phoenix at long range. Neither of those ships is really a significant threat to me, unless they get their torpedoes away. But, set armor piercing for the next volley. Lay on, 15 seconds of shell flight. Drop the range, cut down to 10 seconds on that Phoenix, and rounds out. Bit of guesswork on the aiming there, but in fact too much guesswork because I'm going to miss aft quite badly. But that does give me a decent starting point. 13 seconds and he is broadside on. Unfortunately, there's a goddamn mountain in the way. Ugh. Never mind, while they're focused on that St. Louis, we are just about coming into shot of the Phoenix, who is now occluded by the next island. Most inconvenient. Okay, so lay on to the Omaha instead, track a bit further forwards, and there we go, rounds out. We've unmasked because of that shot, but doesn't matter if Omaha doesn't change his course. There we go. Boom, one hit, and yeah, that was an over-penetration. 10% damage means it probably ploughed right through him and out the other side and didn't detonate properly. However, his engines are busted. That smoke trail there is a dead giveaway. He's going to be bleeding velocity hard, even more so if he starts trying to turn as he has done, so rounds out again. Barely bother leading him this time. Gun dispersion should take care of the rest. Fire comes down. One hit again. Negligible effect. This is what I mean by bouncing fire. That was 11 kilometers and it pretty much did nothing. So we'll set High X into the breach for the next run. Start turning. I'm broadside onto that New York over there, which is not a happy position to be in. And chop the throttle, otherwise Ernie is going to ram us. I also need to hold my fire for a second because, yeah. If I fire right now, he's going to... Oi! Watch it! Stuff like that happens. Okay, right, this is bad. Okay, 2 fires on, so we'll kill that. Now, full reverse. The Omaha is starting to steam, so he can have that broadside. The Königsberg's almost gone, no thanks to me. There we go. Direct Citadel hit, and that was blatant overkill. But now we've got high X into the breach, and we're very nicely shielding this Wyoming, who really needs to check his gun sights once in a while. No shot on that Phoenix. He'll be occluded by the time the guns are loaded. But if he sticks his head out again, we've got him. Set AP for the next volley, because by the time it comes to that, we will be getting close. So, back to all ahead full. Bleed off the last of this backwards velocity. 5 knots, 4, 3. Where's that Wyoming? Yeah, that'll do. And we're into forward velocity again. Start the turn. Lay on. Fire as she bears. Again, fire out manually. Well, automatically rather, but are those rounds gonna miss?
Our team has taken the lead.
Yeah, misstaffed and long. I must admit, personal gripe on my part, I would love to have a proper mill sight on this thing. You can see here that the range scale, sorry, the angle scale is changing depending on zoom level, which is highly, highly irritating, because if that was a mill sight, I could actually use it for a consistent bit of angle and range estimation. As it is, it's more like a handy guide for where my aiming mark was the time before. However, I digress. New York is bow on to us, which means that, again, I've got the wrong round, and the breach should really have high X load for this, but is the stupid idiot actually turning through? Yes, he is. Hallelujah for stupid battleship captains. Have some. Let's see, Wyoming is just about dead, but this should serve as a utterly ineffective wake-up call. Okay, that's never happened before. Unless I had myself confused with someone else's rounds. Not that it really matters, because, yeah, torpedoes. Boom. Fighting Steel gets it with his last gasp. Now, hopefully he'll have the sense to run his torpedoes maximum range, but there's also a destroyer behind us. Now, the question is, can Sigmar and whoever our other Isokaze is take him out? I imagine they can. Yeah, they will do. There's no question about that now. He can't break away, just like I said, can't break away from Sigmar's guns with Uberheld holding him honest, so yeah, one more broadside and that's the end of him. Boom, single fighter gone, and Sigmar nails just 97. Also pop another repair party. Now let's see, she's going to be doing 31 knots, so we'll take a fairly extravagant amount of lead and then turn bow on to get the best results from the armour. Very extravagant lead, one plunging shot into her deck and the rest of it missed forward. But at least that gives me a mark, more or less, for her speed. However, she is now turning, which means I'm going to have to wait a bit. Or maybe not. Spot her away. Let's see, there were a couple of other victims lying about. Like him. Omaha's juicy, juicy light cruisers. Rounds out. I don't know, line looks good, elevation looks good, clustering looks very good. Boomski! Pity about the gun dispersion, but I'll take a Citadel. And half his health into the bargain. Now what's that Kongo doing? Pegging it. Not entirely stupid. Fine. Guns are reloading, lay the turrets back on. We've lost the Omaha temporarily, but it looks like he's slowing down. In fact, he is slowing down. Fine, shorten the lead, rounds out, and rearrange the geography. However, those last 4 rounds look good. Come on. Boom! Ouch. Okay. Next mark is could be the Wyoming, but 15 kilometers, we're at the extreme end of his range. What's Kongo doing? Still running away. Fine. Full guns on to the Wyoming, who is turning towards us. Now, that could be a pincer. He could be angling to engage our cruiser at E6, E7. Doesn't really matter, however, because there's a mountain in the way. So, I tell a lie, he is actually turning to engage us. So, rounds, guns on, rounds out, switching to high X because... Actually, no, change of plan, Kongo has turned. Loading armor piercing. 3 hits, 2 bounces, and 1 over penetration again. Must have gone clean through his superstructure. Right. How to do this. The Wyoming is actually the greater threat at the moment because I'm broadside onto him. So flat side is not smart. However, if I turn too far away from Kongo, then Kongo's aft guns will be able to start messing me up instead. So just going to have to live with a few hits from this Wyoming, who is getting thoroughly brassed up by everybody, and, well, Reperto's luck is clearly in. He has sacrificed enough dissidents, gnomes. Pick your sacrifice of choice. Let's keep bow on to Kongo. 4 seconds for the reload. Guns on. Lay, target the belt. Okay, now the Wyoming's aiming at us, and this is where the fun starts. 3 hits, 6,000 damage. Maybe 1 decent penetration. Okay, Wyoming is burning. Now the question is, did he blow his damage control? No, I don't think he... I think he's blown it.
Good show.
Yeah, he'd have that fire out by now if he was intent on surviving, so he's going to burn down. There we go. Reperto gets the credit, and thoroughly deserved. And Kongo, what are you doing? Come on, commit to your turn. Like so. Tighten up, get the bow on. Another straight citadel. To quote a line from Jingles, ladies and gentlemen, broadside of a battleship? Well, even the battleships can't repel firepower of that magnitude, and yet it's also a paddling. Now, Kongo is going to try for it here. Right, we're going to risk it. Sidekick. Fire, and then back. Single over penetrating hit. Damn it. Okay. Forward turrets are reloaded. Fire again, reload high explosive this time. If Kongo's just going to show us her stern, yeah, you saw the deflection there, and it did no damage. So, high X at this point, fire into the superstructure instead. Again, bow on, because Kongo's trying for a broadside against me. You can see the guns coming round. You're not going to pull it off, mate. Not against me. Come on, take your best shot. I can deflect it. High X out. Full reverse. 1 hit. Repair that fast. Doesn't matter. Kongo goes down, and that is round end. So, how'd that play out? 1100 XP. Some compensation. 3rd overall, not too far behind. Pretty tight spread between the 3 of us there. Sigma, I think, got most of his from a combination of that destroyer and some cruiser action he got earlier on. Details report 60,000 damage, more or less, from 23 armor-piercing shells. That's what a couple of citadels will do for you. In fact, I think something like 1/3 of that came from those 2 citadel hits. HE shells, 2 hits, 940 damage, negligible. And damage received, 31 high explosive shell hits for 20,000, 6 armor piercing hits from 7,500. That's what good angling does if you're in a battleship. Let's go again, see what we get. Right, seconds out, round 2, and this could be a rather different match. Top tier again, but the enemy have got 2 carriers and they've got 2 Kongos. whereas I've got a Kongo and 2 Myogis backing me up, and a Bogue and a Langley. So we should have an edge in air superiority. We've got 12 fighters in the air. Once, depending on fit, they've potentially got 4 less than us. Sorry, 2 less than us. I'm thinking in terms of 6v4. Rather depends what configuration those carrier drivers loaded. However, doesn't much change the plan. High X in the breach for starters. Armour piercing to follow. We'll start by turning left, kick in behind this destroyer screen, and basically let them do the legwork of finding us some targets. It may work. It may also fail horribly, depends how it goes. And all ahead full out of the blocks. So, kick the guns round to starboard, lock them onto bearing for the moment. And now comes the slow start of any match in a battleship. Get some steerage way, start the turn to port, tuck in behind the destroyers. And there we go, just feather the rudder a little, let it come back to neutral as we cuck up to due north. Tucked in nicely, and set. So, next question of course is, where's the enemy? Their starting position is going to be more or less here. They've got 3 options. Go west and try to turn south onto flank, go south and then turn west, or just go straight up the middle, which is a death trap because of the sheer amount of cover you've got for lurking destroyers. So, given that they are heavy on cruisers, we'll probably see them go either left or right. The question is, which way? A lot's going to depend on what our scout aircraft find. Both carriers are in stock configuration, 1 squadron fighters, 1 squadron torpedo bombers, so if they coordinate they can do some real damage. But so much is going to depend on what the enemy are doing. And until we find them, that's going to take a while. Destroyers are just about nosing up around the island. Let Avedera take point in his Izyaslav. I think that's how you pronounce it. Bingo, there we go. Looks like most of their fleet has gone west. We have a Furutaka, we have a Kongo, and they are handily in range. Although this is going to be a dodgy shot at the best times. Oh, that... No, he's just lagging quite considerably, so... Give it a generous amount of lead, and kicked out, rounds away, and then turn back in to brace for return fire. Come on, you guys aren't turning. Line looks good, elevation looks reasonable, grouping's decent. Clean misses. Damn. Must have slightly misjudged their angle. Mind you, their shot dispersion's just as bad as mine, so they've not hit anything either. We now have armour piercing the breach. I know Kongo's unloaded, so sidekick once again. Lay it on. Turret to stabilise, and have it. Kongo is fired. Chop speed. Tighten the turn. This should throw his gunnery aim. Mostly. Still, I came off slightly better on that one than he did. So, bow to bow now. Cover that Myogi, let him start to get close as well. Get the stern turrets round to port, so we might get a few cheap shots at that Furutaka. And guns reloaded. Kongo has turned mostly to dodge torpedo bombers, but not really succeeded. He's eaten 2 torps, and here comes the plunging fire. Double citadel! Woohoo! Lucky, lucky shot. You don't get that very often. So while he's cursing his luck and reaching for the repair parties, there he goes. It's Phoenix. That's, what, 5-inch guns at most? I can soak a few on the broadside armor without too much difficulty. It'll get trickier if Kongo decides to turn, however. Bingo, he eats another one, and rounds out. Starboard, sorry, after turrets are coming around. Boom, another citadel. Almost feels like overkill, but I ain't complaining, especially since we just sighted one of the enemy carriers. Right, murder that. We take out a large chunk of the enemy's firepower, but we've also got torpedo bombers. However, they're going for the Miyogi. As horrible a thing as it is to say, thank God for that. Best we can do really is hope to hose a couple off him. Okay, you wanna play, do you? Enemy Kongo reported for aimbot use. The salt is real. The salt is so very, very real. Now then. Waste of a repair party there, but... Sorry, damage control. Really shouldn't get those mixed up. 360, no turret. Yeah. No aimbot involved, just close to 1,000 battles. Okay.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
He's just chopped his velocity. Damn it, those are going to miss forwards. Clever girl. Clever, clever girl. Now, why have I got a torp warning sounding? Fine. Not a big deal. What is a big deal? Actually, maybe. Furutaka has 10 kilometers on an upgraded turret. Repair party out will patch some of that high explosive damage. Now, he's coming back up to speed, so he's going to be anticipating my next volley. Or is he? No, he has stopped dead. Thank you so very much, sir. That was possibly your first and last mistake of the engagement.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
Broadside to a battleship is stupid, ladies and gentlemen. Broadside to a battleship and stopped is... Is there such a thing as a worse paddling? Right. Okay. Right. Change of plans. I was considering hitting that Phoenix a couple of times, but we need to kill that Bogue in short order. So, starboard turn, he's got no real guns to speak of. That's a converted freighter, remember? They do about 15 knots on a good day, so... Rounds out. Let's see what happens. Boom, 5,000 damage, 5 hits. Most of them, it has to be said, ploughed straight in and out the other side. Was aiming a little too far forwards there. Yes, I'm using armor piercing against a carrier. I'm going for a quick kill rather than crippling damage because his planes are already in the air. And speaking of which, they are going to be coming for me. Don't need to be Iona to predict that much. Right. Okay, you're going to be tying for broadside, so... Rounds out. Let's see. No, I tell a lie. He's trying to hit the destroyer. Okay, there we go. His torps are away, and doesn't really matter anymore. The destroyer nailed him. Nice work, Excremental. So, new problem is that enemy fleet behind us. We haven't found that other carrier, though. It must be tracking up with the cruisers. Okay. New target. Lay on. Yoink. Rounds away. Gonna miss slightly aft on these, and the gun dispersion's appalling, but one reasonably solid hit into his deck. I'll take it. Don't really have a lot of choice. I'm gonna have to take it whether I like it or not. Okay, get the gun turrets round to starboard. And... ooh, are we going to get a cheap shot at this Miyogi as we come by? I rather think we are. Come on, mate. Are you gonna clear into cover before I get round? I don't think you are. Mind you, it's not gonna matter because that's a lot of torpedoes coming your way, mate. One and... No, he managed to dodge the rest of them. He's broken contact, but we're going to reacquire him the moment we come round here. Come on, where are you? Where are you? There you are. Reminder of the lesson, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, lag! God damn it. Worst possible moment to have a desync on the server. God damn. Yeah. Talk about cheated. Anyhow, the flooding's going to finish him off. I don't need to worry about that guy anymore. Next victim, that Kuma, I think. Light cruiser, probably doing about 30 knots, so give him about... Well, we'll start with that and see how it goes. It's not the best angle, and... well, he just turned anyway. Yeah, and that turn probably just saved his arse. Okay. Aha! Enemy carrier. I have you now, my pretty. Your scourge of my teammates is at an end. I've got the luxury of time on this one, so rounds. Boom. One hit. Again, over penetration. Fine. Load the high X. We'll do this the textbook way. Now the question is he trying to slip round? Nope, he's just run himself aground. He may have been trying to slip round the island, but it didn't really work for him. Pity that. And yes, I am aware that we're being capped, and I'm going to have to do something about it. In fact, I'm going to have to do something about it right damn now, which means I'm going to have to pass on taking the shot at this carrier with the main batteries. Fine, Destroy gets his second carrier. I can afford not to be greedy, especially if it means the difference between winning and losing this engagement. And speaking of losing this engagement, that was the sound of a lot of torpedoes hitting home. Yeah, Boom. There we go. There endeth the enemy air power. Unfortunately, the rest of the team has likewise been beaten about. We have got to kill this Kuma before it makes the cap, which means we have to reacquire it before it makes the cap, which could be troublesome. Oh dear. I have a feeling that we're about to... got you. Another desync. Damn it, that is going to cost us the battle unless... Yeah. The rounds didn't even get there in time. That is annoying. 803, KTH in the Furutaka had an absolute field day. You saw the double strike. Damage, 21 shell hits, 76,000 damage. Damage taken was relatively minor. No more than, well, 10,000 plus or minus. But still annoying. Mostly HE. I mean, that's small caliber HE into a battleship's armor really doesn't do very much.